I remember the weight of the pills in my palm, the chalky film on my tongue as I swallowed the first handful, knowing I was crossing a line I'd never come back from. But the question that haunts me isn't why I did it, it's whether she made me this hollow, or whether I was always empty. When a woman blocks you, and then begs you not to let her give up, is that a cry for help or a blueprint for destruction? It started like any other digital courtship swipes, DM, the flutter of a notification. She was sharp, with a laugh that could cut through the noise in my head. We talked for 2, maybe 3 days before she vanished. Blocked. No warning, no fight. Just a digital door slamming in my face. My thumb hovered over the screen, my chest constricting as if a fist had seized my lungs from the inside. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead, my fingers trembled. Then, a day later, she was back. A message appeared she loved me, but she wasn't ready. Her final instruction was both a curse and a blessing: don't let me give up on us. So I didn't. I held on. But the second block came faster, and I discovered the first rule of this new world: her best friend was the gatekeeper. I groveled, got reinstated. My heart hammered against my ribs when she unblocked me, and I told myself it was love. It was fear that someone could disappear so completely with just a tap of a screen. That's when the dependency set in, a chemical need that bypassed my brain and lived in my gut. Third block. Same ritual: contact the best friend, swallow the humiliation, resume the charade. She was angry this time, her words in all caps, but we were together again. Each cycle shaved a layer off my dignity, yet I couldn't stop. It was like breathing: panicked, shallow, essential. Then she had her best friend block me, fresh wound. I scoured the internet for hours until my eyes burned, unearthing an old, unblocked account on a forgotten platform. I sent a message, my hand shaking so violently I could barely type. She responded, and relief washed over me like a physical heat. I thought I was winning. I was just finding new ways to lose. She blocked me everywhere, every platform, every number. In desperation, I recalled seeing her email on a gym sign-in sheet. I messaged her, my fingers moving as if possessed. The waiting was torture, I couldn't eat or sleep. She replied. Then I wrote a long, obsessive love letter and mailed it to her address. When silence followed, I drove to her home, a blur of white knuckles on the wheel. I rang the doorbell. Her mother answered, her face a mask of polite confusion. My girlfriend, if I could call her that, was shocked, but she went to dinner with me. I thought I had won the war. In truth, I'd lost another battle, my identity dissolving with every boundary I crossed. I was no longer a man in love, I was a man possessed. During those blocks, I lost control of my body. I'd break things, scream into pillows, hyperventilate until my vision swam. I was convinced I would literally die without her. The next block came after a stupid joke. I went to her apartment at midnight, paced the street, and finally rang the bell. I went upstairs. She screamed at me, her voice raw and jagged. I cried, hot tears streaming, my whole body shaking. She called me pitiful, contempt that stung more than any shout. But I stayed the night. We woke up as if nothing happened. The sickness of it was that I felt comforted. I was a ghost haunting my own life. Weeks later, she unblocked me. We talked as friends. When her new boyfriend cheated, she called me. I dropped everything, my heart lurching with pathetic purpose. I rushed to her, held her while she cried. I was a placeholder, a warm body to absorb her pain, and I drank it in. When she called again, hesitating on who to ask out, I gave her advice, the ultimate act of self-annihilation, helping her date someone else. Then came the call that should have been my breaking point. She had taken a substantial dose of medication. I was miles away. I called everyone, but I didn't have her new address. The police couldn't act without it. I sat in my car, a scream building in my throat that never came. Hours passed. She woke up. She told her mom, spent a week in the hospital. I was the one who saved her. No, I was the one who couldn't save her. That was the lie I told myself. And then, the silence broke. She told me she was in love with an ex. "You are nothing to me," she said, cold, final. "He is my true soulmate." It was the most honest thing she ever said. The bottom of my world fell out. My body went numb, my mouth dry as sand. I walked out of the coffee shop, the sunlight harsh and obscene. Back home, the medicine cabinet glowed like a beacon. Painkillers, sleeping pills, heart medication, I poured them into my palm. A fistful, 2 fistfuls. I swallowed them all, the pills catching in my throat. I thought of her face, of her telling me not to give up. I was finally listening. I was giving up on everything but that final, terrible instruction.
His behavior is not love, it is a physiological addiction to an unpredictable reward schedule. Each block triggers an extinction burst, and each unblock delivers a dopamine hit that reinforces his frantic pursuit. His loss of control is a dissociative panic response, common when the brain perceives the removal of its primary emotional regulator as life-threatening. He is not choosing to violate boundaries, his survival instincts override his prefrontal cortex, convinced he will literally die without her signal. She ceases to be a person to him, she becomes a regulatory object he must access to feel alive.